Hi and welcome back to the Geek and Hermit. Today we're going to be doing a review of Spec Ops: The Line, which is a third-person shooter which was released last year, but I don't think many people even knew it was released, to be honest, because I don't think it got the advertising it deserved or needed. And I think mostly due to the fact it's got the word Spec Ops in the title, most people just think, oh, mediocre, crappy shooter, and avoid it like the plague, as I have done in the past. This one I already knew about a year before it was even released, so... to say it's just a third-person shooter, though, it's not fair to the game. It's more about the psychological damage that warfare can do to people. If you've ever seen Apocalypse Now, I think that's the best comparison you can make about it. Now, the premise of the game really is that Dubai has been wiped out by a giant sandstorm, and 6 months prior to the events in this game, an entire battalion of American soldiers were sent in to help, called the 33rd, and basically, as you can guess by the road, it actually failed, and nothing was heard of since. Now, what prompts the start of this game off is a distress signal is received from Colonel Conrad. I don't know why it only was received now, maybe it breached a sand wall or something, he never really explains that. But basically, you three are sent in to investigate what's gone on, see if you can find any survivors, and then call in cavalry and get the hell out of there. Now, when you arrive, you see that events are not quite as you think. Basically, the 33rd that were sent in to help seem to have taken over and seem to be ruling with a bit of an iron fist. So, rather than going out, getting the backup you need and coming back, you decide to carry on, confront Colonel Conrad and ask what the hell's been going on. Now, there is a lot more to the plot, and there are a few twists and turns along the way, but let's just suffice to say it's quite dark in parts. But by the end of the game you do wonder if you've actually done any good whatsoever. Now, the combat all feels really tight, the guns handle like you think they should and everything, and the cover mechanics work fine and everything like that, and also because you're in a squad of 3 you can actually give, well, basic orders to your teammates like take out this man, take out that man. It's helpful for taking out long range snipers because one of them does actually have a sniper rifle, especially on the harder difficulties as well. And also, if you get pinned down, you can actually order your teammates to flashbang them, anyone shooting at you, so that was very helpful as well. As I say, the shooting mechanics are just standard, pretty much what you'd expect. The only thing they do different, really, I would say, is the sand mechanic itself, which you can shoot out windows to make it pour through and kill soldiers, or sometimes it will fall through your feet, so like the flooring will give way. And of course sometimes you'll get sandstorms that completely obliterate buildings in front of you. And I think that's all handled really, really well. I think it's a really good mechanic. It's not in it too much, because like this is like the aftermath of the giant storm really, so it's not as much. But it does keep it fresh at least. So when you do actually see something like a shootable window, you think, ah, good. Speaking of harrowing moments,
are those civilians? Where'd they come from? There's no camp here.
They took them from the nest.
That hotel back at the storm wall? No, those can't be the civvies that got kidnapped. It's not possible.
Yeah, it is. That's why Gould stormed this place. He didn't want the king. He was trying to rescue his people. This is your fault, goddammit! Stop.
so yeah, as I say, it's quite a dark, mature themed game. And there are a lot more moments like this in the game, and also you'll get certain moral choices at certain points where whether to spare someone or kill them, and so on and so forth.
Reinforcements will be here any second. We need to keep moving.
Well, it's really done well, and it's actually quite interesting. And also your squad mates, at the beginning you'll start off the usual American crap soldier talk you'll get, and they're quite jovial, but during the game you'll see the character stats change They start getting more and more darker and darker as it goes on. And by the end, literally, everyone's just a mess, both physically and mentally. And I think to get that kind of progression in a shooting game is unheard of, really. And that's why, personally, as an RPG lover, that's why this is among my favourite games of all time. Now, it's not a hugely long game. I think it's about 7 or 8 hours. But then again, I did it on the hardest difficulty, so I'm not really sure what it'd be on normal. As you can see, the graphics are amazing in certain parts, although that's more applicable really to the outside areas. The inside areas are alright, like you will get hotel lobbies and everything, which do look quite pretty. Obviously it's Dubai after all, but I think it comes into its own when you're outside and you start seeing, well, the damage that the sand has done and everything. But yeah, I think as a shooter itself is worth picking up cheap, definitely. If you've just got no interest in the plot, it still handles well and it's still good fun to play. But if, like me, you've got any interest in RPGs or you get into the stories of games, even say like Mass Effect or anything like that, it is really, really worth picking up. So if you're just interested in the shooting mechanics, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. But if you want to listen to a good story that's quite dark, a 9 out of 10. I think you definitely should pick this game up. I just want them to do more of them, if possible, really. Although I may need happy pills if I play more of them in the end. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you next time.